So how do I overcome sin in my life? We're going to discuss that in this video. This video is part of a larger series of videos called The Disciple. If you go to our YouTube channel, Bethel Pittsburgh, and go to playlists, you'll find a playlist titled The Disciple, and in there, the titles of the video will tell you the category that you're in. The titles will say The Disciple, then a category, and maybe a subcategory. And all the videos are placed in category order. And this one is under character or character development. So how do I become the kind of person and character morally that the Lord wants me to be? And we're following through a couple of passages in Scripture. Romans 13 has been our starting point, and Romans 13:14 says to make no provision for the flesh to gratify its desires. So not only am I supposed to not commit sin, but I'm supposed to proactively do things to make sure that I don't fall into temptation, or at least minimize that. Temptations will always come, but I can minimize my exposure to temptations. And 2 Timothy 2:22 says, flee youthful passions and pursue righteousness. So I'm supposed to, again, be evasive to things that are tempting. 1 Corinthians 6:18, 1 Corinthians 10:14, 1 Timothy 6:11 all talk about various types of sins that we're being encouraged to flee from, to avoid contact with temptations towards particular sin. Then the elders and various church leaders in the Bible are called to be either in 1 Timothy 3:2 and 10, and Titus 1:6, they use the terms to be above reproach or to be blameless. So above reproach is that, no one can come in and make an accusation of you because of the way you've lived your life. Blameless, again, no one can blame you for things. And so obviously there's limitations to this, but the focus is to live in such a way that it's difficult to even say that this person is sinning. So not only am I not sinning, but I'm trying to avoid even looking like I'm sinning, being in close proximity to sin. Again, there are obvious limitations to this. We can't come out of the world. We need to evangelize. And so there's different ways that we need to preach the truth, and that's going to cause people to not like us at times or create conflict. And so it's not that we are to avoid all conflicts and all forms of temptation in a way that we don't achieve other things the Bible calls us to achieve. But there is still this overall sense of avoiding temptation. To anything that tempts me, I'm going to stay away from that thing. So if various things on my phone tempt me, or if certain kind of social interactions tempt me, or certain substances tempt me, then I'm going to avoid those things so that I don't fall into sin. And we might say, well, I want to demonstrate that I'm strong and capable of doing this, and I should be strong in the Lord, and the Lord's going to protect me. So I'm going to assume strength. But the Bible teaches against assuming strength. Jeremiah 17:9 says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. So I need to recognize that what's inside of me is not good. And so I'm not trustworthy on my own. Or 1 Corinthians 10:12 says, anyone who thinks that he is strong, take heed lest he fall. So even if I think that I have this strong posture, the right assumption is to assume that I'm weak. It doesn't mean I am weak. It doesn't mean that I should just let myself go. In fact, the opposite. But the right posture to take towards sin is I'm going to assume that I could fall into this temptation, and I'm going to avoid the temptation. And this is not only good practice, but it's a part of the listing of the qualities that we're supposed to have in our character in Romans 13, to be someone who's evasive to temptation. And many times the reason why we struggle with sin is because we're not avoiding the things that are tempting us. If you have any questions on that, I'd love to respond to those. Just leave those in the comments below. I'll try to remember to put the verses in the description. Or if you would like to grow in your faith in person and you live in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, we would love for you to join us. We're Bethel Assembly of God at 2501 Staten Street. We meet Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. Or if you can't join us in person, we'd love for you to join us live streaming. We stream Sundays at 10 a.m. live on our YouTube channel, Bethel Pittsburgh. We hope to see you at either place, but may God richly bless you.